Hello students, myself Mohammad Rameez and I welcome you all on behalf of Saraswat International Academy. Today in this session we are going to discuss the part 5 of chapter number 5, that is poverty. So students, in the previous session we have discussed about the indicators of poverty. Indicators of poverty such as life expectancy, infant mortality rate, drinking water facility, the number of the hospitals and doctors, then the number of the people who are not getting the proper quality of food. These are the indicators that we have discussed till now. Now, we will continue in this session about the indicators of poverty. So here you can see the next indicator, that is provision of toilets. According to the census report of 2011 in India, according to the statistical data collection by the census report in the year 2011, 70% of the total population lives in village. 70% of the Indian population are living in which area? Village area. And rest of the 30% are living in a urban city area. Okay. This rural area population, they are more prone to waterborne disease and contagious disease. Okay, so these are the people who are affected by waterborne disease and contagious disease. To save them from this disease, cleanliness is very important factor. Okay, and for that toilet facility is must. Here you can see a table in which the data is given about the slum families with toilet facilities. So total families 100%, and from that toilet facility within house is 66%, and houses without toilet facility is 34%, which is quite high. In India, 66% houses have toilet facility within house, whereas remaining 34% families are using the which toilet? Common toilets. Lack of cleanliness nahi hona, then pollution, physical weakness keep the production and the productivity at low level, which is one of the factor of rise in poverty. So here it is said that because of the lack of cleanliness, pollution and physical weakness keeps the production and productivity at low level. So here it is said that as the people are getting affected by the different disease because of lack of cleanliness, because of pollution and because of the physical weakness, the production goes down. As the people are affected by the disease, then the productivity of the human being decreases and they are not able to go to work, and that is the reason of poverty. Now the next indicator you can see, that is housing. One of the indicator of poverty is also housing facility and its nature. So housing is a very important factor, you can say, for the sustenance of the human being. Food, clothes, shelter, these are the basic needs, and shelter represent the housing facility. So developing countries lack housing facilities. In the developing countries, the housing facility is not well equipped. India is also a developing country. Now we will see that what is the condition of India in the matter of housing. People live in dirty hutments and slums. So in India we know, for example, the city like Mumbai, in that city itself there are the slums. Dharavi is one of the example of it. Okay, so people live in the dirty hutments and slums. This is called measurement of existing poverty. Housing is primary need for the human being. We know that, as I had told you in the starting of this paragraph, that housing is the basic primary need of the human being. Okay. Types of housing facility decides the level of poverty. Construction of a house. Students, there are the kacha house, pakka house. If in India the maximum population is living in a kacha house, then it indicates the poverty. Then veranda. Then if you are living in an urban area, parking facility plays an important role. Then members in the house. Okay, if there is a 1 BHK and there are 4 to 5 members in a family, then that house is not capable of like living for a 4 or 5 member. Okay, then tap in the house, it indicates the availability of the water facility. Then drainage facility should be proper, electricity facility should be there. So percentage of houses with these facilities decides the level of poverty. Houses should be well equipped, should have all these facilities properly, then we can say that the poverty is less. If maximum population are living in a house where all these facilities are not there, then we can say that poverty is present. So the next line you can see, India lacks houses with full facilities. India is a country where in the house the full facilities are not there. In India, 60 crore people have dwelling which are dangerous for their health and risky for their lives. Pay attention everyone, student. How much? 60 crore people. Can you imagine? 60 crore population of India is living where at the place which is dangerous for their life, for their own life, and which is risky. Okay. Most of the houses in India, maximum houses in India, comprise of one room facility. Maximum house in India are having of which facility? 1 BHK, one room facilities are there, which is one of the major measuring rods of poverty, and that shows that poverty is present in India. So the next indicator which we are going to discuss is electricity consumption. One of the major factor in the development of any country is electric facility. So this statement is completely true that for the development of any country, we require what? Electric facility to increase the production of the country and improve the quality of life of people. Electricity is imperative. So here it is said, for increasing the production is done where? In the industry, in the manufacturing units, and they are done on the machineries require what? Electricity. So it is very important to have the good facilities of electricity. India is a main producer and consumer of electricity. India is a country which are generating electricity by the different means by itself. Okay, so we are the producer and we are the consumer of electricity itself. But see, the problem is given in the next line. Then also because of high population, the population of India is quite high, and low per capita income. There are the people who are not earning good enough income. There is a low per capita income, and because of that result, per person electricity consumption is very low. एक आदमी जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कंज्यूम करता है वो बहुत कम है. Next indicator, that is education. According to the World Bank, people in the age group of 15 years and above who can read and write are literate, and the rest are illiterate, and they are mostly poor. So here it is given that according to the World Bank, the people who are in the age group of 15 years or above who can read and write, they are the what? They are literate, and rest are what? Rest are illiterate. Lack of education and training give rise to incapable and less productive labor in the country. So here it is said that if the people who are less educated and who are not trained, because of this, it creates a what? It creates a incapable and less productive labor. So education plays an important role. As a result, labor get limited work opportunities and choices. Okay, if the person is educated, then he have a wide scope of doing the work. But if the person is not educated and not having any training, then that labor get limited opportunities and limited choices for work. Hence, less wages and low income increases the poverty. In 2011, Brazil had 91% literacy rate, whereas in India it was 74.04%. Okay, here is the report given that in the 2011 year, the Brazil have 91% literacy rate, and India has only 74.04%. In Nepal it was 60%, and in Pakistan it was 55%. So here it is the data about the literacy rate. which shows that in developing countries the literacy rate is comparatively very less. If you will see the literacy rate of Brazil, it is quite high. And if you will see about India, Nepal and Pakistan, these are the developing countries, the literacy rate is very less. Low education among poor makes them conservative and less acceptable to changes. Because of the low education, they become conservative. They are not welcoming the new modern things in the society. Okay, they are conservative and they are what less acceptable to changes. Like nowadays, after the demonetization, many things have changed. People are using the different modes of payment, online payments, but the less educated person, they are not accepting these facts. Okay, so because of the less education, they become conservative and they don't accept the changes. High rate of ignorance is a strong indicator of poverty. Only level of per capita income cannot give the right to estimate the poverty in the world. A country with high per capita income can have high number of people below the poverty line. To understand this last two line, you should know the concept of unequal distribution of income. In this last two line, it is said that there are the countries whose per capita income is quite high, but in that country there are maximum people who are living below poverty line. So per capita income cannot give the right estimate of poverty. So the next indicator is unequal distribution of income and property. After 1991 economic reforms, economic growth and per capita income have increased sharply in India. So after the year 1991 economic reform have taken place, we have studied this in 11th standard in economics. Economic reform is about liberalization, privatization and globalization. And after the economic reform, the GDP of the country have increased and the per capita income of our country have increased. But due to unequal distribution of income, larger reduction in poverty is not noticed. So here it shows that the GDP have increased, but there was unequal distribution of income. Because of the privatization, the private sectors, the entrepreneurs who are setting up the business, they were getting the more income. Okay, but the poor people were suffering. With increase in income inequality, the richer are becoming more rich and poor are suffering. On one hand, we see rich class of people with good and high standard of living and enjoying the good facilities. This is unequal distribution of income, students. The richer are getting the more money and they are enjoying the life with good facilities and high standard of living. And on the other hand, we find low income people living where in the slum area, and they are deprived of, they are not getting the basic facilities such as food, education and health. The table below shown the actual income of the 1% rich class in USA, UK and India. So here the table is about share of actual national income. Share of actual national income by top 1% rich class. Okay, इकोनॉमी के टोटल नेशनल इनकम में 1% रिच क्लास का कितना कंट्रीब्यूशन है, दैट वी विल स्टडी. The source of this table is Economic Survey of the year 2015 and 16. In the first column you can see the name of the countries: US, UK, India. So in the year 1998, 1% rich class of US was contributing 15.2 in the national income. Same way 1% rich class of UK was contributing 12.5% in their total national income of UK. In the same way 1% rich class of India was contributing 9% in the total national income of India. Okay. Then in the same way, we have to analyze this, that in the year 2012, 1% rich class of US was contributing 18.9, 1% rich class of UK was contributing 12.7, and in India, 1% rich class was contributing 12.6 in the what? In the national income. So by analyzing this table, you can see that 1%, only 1% of the people of the respective countries are contributing very high in their national income. So this is about unequal distribution of income. So students, in this paragraph, the analysis is given of the above table that we have already discussed. According to the above information, in comparison to the year 1998 with the year 2012, the top 1% rich class contribution have increased. Okay, so you can see that in US 15.2 was the contribution of 1% rich class, that increased to 18.9. okay, so in comparison to 1998, in the year 2012, actual income, national income of top 1% rich class in US increased from 15.2 to 18.9. Then in UK it was 12.5% to 12.7. okay, and India it was 9% and it had increased to 12.6. For India, it can be said that the advantage from economic reform from the 1991 liberalization, privatization and globalization reforms were more in the favor of the rich people. So the disparity of unequal distribution of income is there, and it indicates the what? Poverty. Now the last indicator of poverty, that is high rate of unemployment. Unemployment have a direct relation with the poverty that we will discuss in this paragraph. Let's start. When people with working capacity, there are the people who are having the working capacity and willingness to work at existing wage rate, they do not find the job, they are said to be unemployed. So here is the definition given that we have studied in the earlier standards also, that when a person who are able to work, who have the willingness to work, and he is ready to accept the market prevailing wage rate and made efforts to find the job, but then too that person is not getting the job, then that person is called what? Then that person is called an unemployed person. Low economic development and jobless growth after the year 1991 result in less development of employment opportunities in comparison to increase in supply of labor is the main reason of increase in unemployment. Students, pay attention. After the year 1991, the development was there in India, but the pace was slow. Okay, the GDP have increased, but at a slow pace, and the growth was done, but it was jobless. Capital intensive industries have started. It resulted in less development of employment opportunities. Okay, the development was there, but it was jobless and at low pace, and because of that result, the development of employment opportunities also was less as compared to the supply of labor. Pay attention, the supply of labor in our country was quite high. More number of the people wants the job, but the demand of the labor was less, and that results in what? That results in unemployment. In situation of unemployment due to lack of income, when a person is unemployed, obviously that person is not having income, so that person cannot fulfill the needs of his family, and as a result level of poverty remains high in our country. Now here are the some of data that we are going to see, that in India in the year 2011 the rate of unemployment was around 9%, and according to the Labour Commission in the year 2013 and 14 the rate of unemployment among people 15 years and above was around 4.9%. In rural area, in village area, this rate was 4.7. This rate means the rate of unemployment was 4.7, and in urban area, in city area, the rate of unemployment is 5.5%. This data you have to remember for the MCQ and one line question.